What's up, YouTube? Back with another video, and today we have part 1 out of 4 on how to deal with off-ballers, paint sitters, and zone users here in 2K22. Initially, this was one video, but it would have been way too long, so I decided to break it up into 4 different parts. And this part is pick and roll. So off-balling is pretty common, and you'll see it a lot in, my team, play now, maybe even my league. But basically, your opponent will just let the CPU guard the ball, and they'll usually stay on the center. Sometimes they'll stay on a wing player that's just sitting in the corner doing nothing. But most of the time, they're on the center and just have the CPU guard the ball, and basically almost never guard the ball. And this can be hard to deal with because the AI does play pretty good on ball defense, and creating separation can be kind of difficult, but there are ways that you can attack them, and that's what you have to do. You have to attack them. You can't just allow them to off ball you and not play defense and allow the computer to play defense for them. You have to attack them. Specifically mentally, you have to attack their IQ, and you have to force them to think. You have to force them to make decisions, and you have to force them to basically play the game. They got on the game to play the game, so make them play the game. And so, like I said, one of those ways to attack them is in the pick and roll. So I'm gonna show some gameplay clips of me playing Play Now online and how I deal with people off-balling me in pick and roll situations. So with that being said, let's get into it. So next we have pick and roll, which is probably the best thing you can do. And a lot of people that off ball on the center, they think that just because they're on the center, all they have to do is like protect the rim, block shots, get rebounds, which is true. But a big part of center defense is hedging on pick and rolls and not allowing guards to get 3-point shots as well as drives to the rim. And I noticed that a lot of people that off ball with the center are very, very bad hedge defenders in pick and roll situations. So that's where you want to attack them. So right here, I got the Knicks, and as you can see, I call a play punch 91 fist side, which is just a double pick play. So it's basically just pick and roll. And as you can see, he's on Towns, just in the paint, not guarding anybody. Mitchell Robinson isn't a threat out there, so it's whatever. So I let it run. Both Mitchell Robinson and Julius Randle come and screen Patrick Beverly. Now, Pat Bev, he gets hit by the screens, and look at where he is. He's on the free throw line. He cannot be up here. He has to be up here. He has to deny me this shot, as well as don't allow me to turn the corner and get to the rim. We go for a few more frames, and look, Pat Bev, he basically lets Pat Bev die right here. He has, like I said, he has to be up here to deny me this shot. And this is what I mean by bad hedge defense. This is what they'll do in pick and roll situations. They will just stay in the paint and not get out to the shooters or the ball handlers and let them either turn the corner or get wide open shots. So personally, especially when I call these double screen plays and even pick and rolls, when I come off the pick, I don't drive if I know that my center is rolling. Because if I drive and my center's rolling, he could kind of play in the middle and like play the pass and the shot. But if I'm out here on the 3-point line, he has to make a decision. Is he gonna run out at me and jump at me and contest the shot, or is he gonna back up and protect the roll? And most of the time, they back up and protect the roll, and they give you this shot right here. So I get a wide open shot with Kemba Walker. So right here, we're back on our Clippers guy, and he's on Ibaka. So I come up the court, and I call for a pick and fade. So I come off the screen. Bledsoe, he does a good job of getting over the screen, but he has to be here. He has to be up here. He can't allow me to get the shot, and he can't allow me to turn the corner. So by Bledsoe getting over the screen, he denies me the shot. But since he's not up enough, I'm allowed to turn a corner and drive to the rim. So even though I don't get the shot, this is still bad hedge defense because he allows me to get into the lane and break down this defense and force rotations. And like I said, having, shooters at every position will also help a lot because it'll help you a lot in the pick and roll and pick and pop game. So every time I call the pick, he doesn't know if I'm fading or I'm rolling, and he can't just play the paint all the time because I have a shooting center on the court. So I call for Ibaka to fade. I get into the lane. I draw both the defenders, and Serge Ibaka is wide open for the 3. Now, this is where knowing defensive rotations will also help you as well. So if you beat somebody in the pick and roll and get into the rim, the guys in the corners, they will either help or they will either rotate out to the shooters. So if you know that, you can be a step ahead. And if I would have known that in this video, or like if I was just a little quicker with it, I would have just passed the ball straight to Kawhi, because I actually did not expect the defense to rotate like that, to be honest with you. But I passed it to Ibaka and he rotates back. And like I actually got baited right here. But as you can see him, as I roll to the rim, he jumps, which is also something that they'll do a lot. A lot of these off ballers are very undisciplined. So if you get anywhere near the rim, they're going to jump at you. So he jumps and he falls out of bounds. I pass the ball to Kawhi, but then I pass the ball back to Ibaka because, again, he jumped. He fell out of bounds. He's out the play. Bledsoe, he's too far away. So I'm able to make 2 passes before he gets back into the play. And I still end up with the wide open 3. So right here, we have another pick and roll. Again, he's still on Ibaka. And so I run it. And look, like I said, he has to be up here. He can't be back there doing nothing. Luke Kennard, he gets clipped by the screen. He's falling over. He's out the play. I did send Ibaka. Actually, this was a play for me to get the screen here and then get this double screen going back to the middle. But since I see him just back up into the paint and give me this wide open shot, I don't even use this action right here. I just take my shot. I wanted the 3, but you know, 2K be 2K, and then make me take a 2. So right here, we're back on our Giannis guy. He's on Giannis right here. And as you can see up here, fist 91 size. So I call the play. It's just a double pick play. And notice down here is 14.6 seconds left on the clock. So when you call a play and there's this little time left in the quarter, what'll happen is you'll just have to wait and the play will run in like the last 5 to 8 seconds or something like that. So I'm just waiting, and look at where he is. He's not really guarding Steven Adams. He's in the paint. So I just wait. I'm chilling. He's still in the paint. And look, he gets a defensive 3-second violation. So this can happen as well. If you call either a certain play or just have like a certain type of spacing, you can catch people off guard just camping in the paint and get a defensive 3-second call. So again, this time he's on Bobby Portis and he's just in the paint guarding my center. And I noticed this, so I just decided to just like mess with him. So I call for the pick and roll. I use it. Now, he does an okay job of denying me the shot. Like, I don't really have the shot. He could easily contest this, but he doesn't get back in time to play the lane or stop the drive. So I get my center, Xavier Tillman, wide open on here. But like I said, pay attention to defensive rotations, because Wes Matthews, he's sprinting over to the rim, because like I said, if he gets beat in a pick and roll, the corners, they will drop and help. So again, if I would have noticed this, I would have just threw it straight into the corner, but I throw it to my center. I still get the pass through. His pass can be kind of risky depending on, you know, who's out there. So Wesley Matthews probably not gonna steal that pass, but if you're playing my team and it's like you have somebody like LeBron or somebody, like they could probably steal that pass. The CPU will probably steal that pass. So be careful of that. And like I said, pay attention to defensive rotations. But I end up getting away with it and I get an easy dunk. And then look, he pauses me. This is great. This is exactly what you want. When they pause you like this means that you have won the mental war. You're in their head and they're rattled. They don't know what to do and they're getting frustrated. This pausing by them is great. This is exactly what you want. So right here, I got the Kings and he's playing on Vucevic over here. And I just call for a pick and roll. And look at where he is. The pick is up here. Like I sound like a broken record. He has to be up here. He can't be just back there doing nothing. Because once Zach LaVine gets clipped by the screen, there's nothing he could really do. He basically lets Zach LaVine die right here. So I let my center roll. And like I said, I like on pick and rolls, I let my center roll and try to like see if I could get a shot to either force him to jump at me or to stay paint and get the open shot. So he stays paint. I get an open shot. I shoot it early. but I am open. And, you know, this is play now. This is Tyrese Halliburton who can hit that shot. But if you play my team, you probably got somebody that has a lot better attributes, maybe a faster jump shot and a lot better badges. So this shot right here and my team is easily greenable. Like, you could get that all day. But I end up missing. I get the offensive rebound and I call for another screen. Because, again, you can't get discouraged by missing shots. Even if they do get a couple of defensive stops on you, it's okay. You have to keep the pressure on them. You can't just allow them to off-ball you and not do nothing about it. If you want this defensive stop, you're going to have to work for it. So I call for another pick and roll. And, again, he's in the paint doing nothing. This guy gets clipped by the screen. He's out to play. He's dead. And I get a wide open mid-range. So right here, I got the Kings again going against another Bulls guy. And look, he's on Vucevic. He's in the paint. The pick and roll is up here, but he's nowhere to be found. So I take the screen. Now, Zach LaVine, he does a good job of playing the screen. I don't really have a shot, and I don't have the drive neither. He plays the paint the whole time, so he has the role. But like I said, can't get discouraged. If they want this defensive stop, you got to make them work for it. So I call for the screen again, and I take the screen. And like I said, this is why I also like pick and rolls going towards like an empty corner or empty wing, because there's a lot less help defense and I won't be able to get pinched or blitzed. So like if I was going this way off the screen, I really can't turn the corner and get to the rim if I need to, because this guy, he could easily run at me and blitz me. And, you know, DeRozan, he can like rotate and like play lane. So there's a lot more defensive help on this side of the court if I was to like make a pick and roll over here. But since I'm over here, I have a lot more space to work with, and it's a lot harder for the defense to like help and blitz me. So he does get out a little bit. He doesn't give me the shot, but again, he allows me to turn the corner. So I turn the corner, and instead of driving, I go to the corner, because like I said, if I know my center's rolling, I'm not gonna drive, and I go to the corner. Both defenders end up following Tristan Thompson, and I end up getting an open corner three. And like this right here, this can be avoided by like they call it X switching or A switching if you want Xbox, but you can manually switch this. So if this ever happens to you and you want LaVine to actually go get his man, you can hold A or X if you want PlayStation, and it'll manually switch. So right here, he's going Thompson. If he holds A, LaVine will actually go out to the ball handler, but he has to do this a lot earlier. If he like did it right now, he'd still be too late because I'm wide open. But keep that in mind. If this happens to you, you could just manually switch by holding A or X. But he doesn't do that, so I get a wide open corner three, and yep, he poses me. Like, again, that's exactly what you want. I know I got him rattled. And right here, we got the same guy again. So he's on Vucevic in the paint. So I'm doing a couple dribbles, but I call for a pick and roll, and boom, he comes out, denies me the shot. He hedges out a little bit, so this is good. But he backs up. He backs up, and he gives me the shot. I throw a lob like a dummy because, like, you know, I'm just trying to get clips for gameplay or whatever. But he backed up and gave me the shot. I should have just shot the ball. And yeah, like I said, they tend to just play the paint a lot. They might come up for a split second, but then they will go back into the paint. They might not go to the paint right away, but they will find themselves in the paint. So you can get a lot of wide open shots. So that's pretty much it for part one. You really want to test their hedge defense and get them involved in as many pick and rolls as you can. Part two is going to be about using plays as well as freelances to help you as well. So stay tuned for that. And I hope this video helped you. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more content.